graders, we're here with lesson 40 on pictures of mixed numbers and writing quotients as mixed numbers. So here we have a picture, and we're going to pretend these are pizzas. So I have a full pizza here, a full pizza here, and not quite a full pizza here. So I want to know, how much pizza do I have? I have 2 1/2 pizzas, right? So how can we write that? Well, we can write it with a mixed number. The 2 is going to be how many holes there are. And then we're going to show this isn't quite a whole, it's a fraction. And what fraction does this represent? 1/2. And so this picture shows 2 1/2 pizzas. Some examples that you might see would say, use a mixed number to name the number of shaded circles shown. So let's look at this one. How many circles are completely shaded? How many holes do we have? 2. And then our last one is a fraction. How much of that hole is shaded? Good. Let's look at that example B. So here, how many holes do we have? 1. And then for this one, how much of this hole is shaded? Well, remember, we're going to count how many parts there are. 1, 2, 3, and that becomes our denominator. And then we're going to count how many of those parts are shaded in, and we have 1 to be our numerator. So our answer is 1 1/3. Here's a third type of example you might see. Peter, Edmund, and Lucy will equally share 7 chicken pot pies. How much does each person get? So we're going to first draw a picture to help us here. So I have 7 pot pies. So Peter's going to get a whole one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They each can get 2 whole pies equally. But remember, I was going to 7, so I have 1 pie left. And this last pie, if I want to split it equally, I'm going to have to divide it, right? And since there's 3 groups or 3 people, I'm going to divide it into 3 pieces. And then 1 would go to Peter, 1 would go to Edmund, and 1 would go to Lucy. So we'll draw that over here. So now we can see that each of them have 2 1/3 apiece. So there's a way to do this without drawing a picture, and we're going to look at that right here. Basically, this question is just a division problem. It's saying that there are 3 groups, and I have 7 things that I'm trying to split between them. So what is your dividend is how many we're trying to split, and our divisor is the number of groups we're dividing it by. So let's look at what this looks like. I'm going to say 3 goes into 7. How many times? 3 times 2 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. And since I have no more numbers to bring back, I have a remainder of 1. So I have 1 left over, and I'm going to put it over top whatever my divisor is. So now I end up with a mixed number as my answer. I had 2, each group got 2 whole ones, and then there was 1 left over, and we're going to split it among the 3 groups that we had. So we end up with a mixed number of 2 1/3. Let's try one more example of the same thing and see if we can do it without drawing the groups. So split 9 equally among 4 people. Let's pretend that this is 9 cookies equally among 4 people. So this is a division problem. How many do I have? That's what I'm splitting. So that's going to go inside my box. And my divisor is how many groups I'm splitting it into. And now I'm going to divide it. 4 goes into 9. How many times? 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. So I'm going to have a remainder of 1 left over that I couldn't divide equally. And I'm going to put it over the amount of groups I have, which is 4. So my answer is 2 1/4. Dan, Juan, and Thai are sharing 13 oranges equally. How many oranges does each person have? All right, so I said that there was Dan, Juan, and Thai. So there's 3 different people. So there's 3 different groups we're splitting them by. And there's 13 oranges. So that's how many things we're trying to divide or split. So 3 goes into 1 0 times. 3 goes into 13 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. 13 minus 12 is 1. And this is my remainder of what's left. So I'm going to bring it up here. And then I'm going to put it under 3, over 3, because there's 3 groups. So my answer is 4 1/3 oranges. Let's look at one more example. All right, Johnny, Sue, Mary, and Sarah are splitting 18 jelly beans among each other. So I named 4 people, so that means that there's 4 different groups, and they're splitting 18 jelly beans. So I'm going to put that there. 4 goes into 1 0 times. 4 goes into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. 8 minus 6 is 2. So that means that I have 2 left over that I can't split equally. So I'm going to come up and put my 2 as my numerator, and I'm going to put it over 4 because there was 4 total groups. But I'm not done, because this fraction right here is not simplified. 2/4 is the same thing as what fraction? Good, 1/2, because 2 is half of 4. That's how you can remember that. So my final answer would be 4 1/2 jelly beans. All right, I think you have everything you need to know, so go ahead and get to work.